Hello everyone, welcome to my new video of Mint analysis for 2nd March. So today's main highlight is about 5G technology. So here we will be talking about how 5G is going to impact the economy, which are the various nations which are ready for it, and how it's going to impact us. So the various nations, there are 200 countries which have deployed 5G, including China, Japan, South Korea, and US. US takes the lead here. And then the total connections that are expected. So right now in 2021, there were 6% of total connections for 5G. But in 2025, there is expected to be 25% of 5G connections. So that's the growth we are expecting here. Now about the various operators in the market. The various operators that will provide 5G will be Reliance Jio, Airtel, and Vodafone Idea, and they have already conducted their trials and just waiting for the government to give a nod. Now, next is about the phone handsets. So, we have seen that Vivo has already acquired 19% share in 5G smartphone shipments. So, 19% shipments was from Vivo, and the overall shipments has increased by 555% year on year. That's the growth. Next is how it's going to impact the economy. So there will be three main impacts. First is it is expected to benefit all sectors, with services and manufacturing experiencing the biggest impact. So wherever services will be required, 5G is going to impact those sectors because ultimately it has to do with the speed of the internet. And the manufacturing sector will be having the biggest impact. That's what they're saying. And next is the mobile operators. They will have to invest more in the 5G technology. So it is said that around $600 billions will be invested from 2022 to 2025. So more than 600 billion of investment, and from which 85% will be through on 5G networks. That's a lot of capital expenditure that these companies will be seeing. Now, third is, which is obvious, that it will boost the job creation because now we will need people who understand this technology and can are equipped with the knowledge of this sector, 5G technology. Next is Russia-Ukraine war enters brutal phase. So we have also seen that an Indian student was killed in Kharkiv. Although Ukraine has tried its best to defend its country, but somehow the tensions are just escalating in the capital. Next is SWIFT payments to Russia grind to a halt as sanctions tighten. So as we already know that US was going to have sanctions against SWIFT bank. SWIFT is just you can say messaging services provide for the financial transaction. So here lenders have to come to an abrupt halt after the expulsion of some Russian banks from SWIFT International Financial Messaging Network, which I have already told. Now, banks cannot initiate transactions involving lenders or entities on the list. So now it's difficult for the banks to, provide the provide the services that they were meant to provide. It has put a halt to the whole process, and now it's difficult for the companies to receive the payments as well. So that's the disruption being caused because of SWIFT sanctions on Russian bank. SWIFT sanctions, which has its headquarters in Russia. Now the next news is Ashneer Rover exits Bharat Pay, and he held 8.5% in Bharat Pay. And now what will happen to its stocks will be something that will be decided by the firm. So that's the current news. Next is that the new CEO of Air India has resigned because of some political controversy. So the controversy was basically that he was the mayor in of Istanbul in mid 1990s, and the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh demanded to conduct some ground checks on Ilka before he joins the Air India. And Mr. Ilka said that he won't be accepting the position on in the current circumstances because it questions his image. So that's what happened. Next is chip scarcity may get worse amid Ukraine conflict. So we have discussed it even earlier as well, that Ukraine was a major chip exporter, and since they have we will now be facing raw material shortages from there on. So the chip shortages will continue, and also as an opportunity, Indian companies are looking at it because government will provide more funds to them for initiating chip manufacturing. And this move we can see here as well, that India has committed almost $10 billion to promote semiconductor manufacturing. So through this, actually, it's an advantage to the companies as well, which were looking to have their own chip manufacturing units. Next is neon and helium are both gases critical to the production. So neon and helium were the main reason because and helium are mostly present in Ukraine and Russia, and since they are at war and major global players, so no neon and helium means no chips, and the scarcity consequently. So next is Russian vodka boycott goes global to punish Putin for war. As we know that since the war is going on, people will continue, continue boycotting the Russian goods. So this is one of the another goods that they are going to boycott. And the US governors ordered the removal of Russian-made or branded spirits from stores. Next is Ukraine effect. LIC IPO timing review likely. So as we know that LIC was going to launch its IPO, but since there is a Ukraine effect in the market because of which the stocks prices are falling. So maybe if LIC will be listed right now, it will gain some lesser value against which it was before expecting. So because of that, the timing may get review, and maybe it will get listed even later. Next is IEA is releasing emergency stock to ease oil price shock. So if we have boycotted Russia and we will not be importing oil, then we will need to arrange it from somewhere. And IEA is one of those organizations. It is made up of 8 association countries of IEA, and in these 8 association countries we have China, Brazil, South Africa, including India as well. So this is the current status, and it's we can see that why this has happened because Russia used to provide 60 its exports 60% used to go to Europe and 20% to China. So now you can see how large impact it had on Europe and China. And Europe is particularly very experiences very cold nights when it comes to winters. So that was the concern, and now the nations have come together and released the reserves stock, and 60 million of barrels will be now released. Next is weak growth to keep RBI on hold for longer. So there will be obviously will be a weak growth that we'll be seeing in coming months due to oil prices and already the effect of pandemic. So, elevated crude prices would in time hit household consumption and purchasing power. Since oil prices will go up, the transportation cost will go up, and the companies will face adverse impact on their input cost. So, if their input cost goes up, they will sell their products at a higher cost. So, which will ultimately impact the pockets of a consumer. So, their purchasing power will get less. Now, analysts advise SIPs as investors panic. So, now analysts are advising to have systematic investment plans. So, it's nothing but investing money in small amounts over a period of time. And the benefit it gives is that it averages out the effect. So, let's say if market is down today and you invest $100, now further market is down today, the next day, and you again invest $100. So, in that effect, you will be getting the advantage of, putting, getting some extra returns because you have averaged out your effect over a long period of time. You were able to acquire the asset for a lesser cost. So now the next news is urban loan sanctions shrink as NBFCs shift focus to rural. So right now what's happening is that NBFCs are now encouraging small ticket loans, which is providing small amount of loan to the people, and this is done to avoid the competition from banks, since banks try to provide loan to the bigger parties. That's the first thing. And also by doing this they are able to diversify their risks. They are able to receive extra returns on low risk. So that's the benefit they are getting, and that's what is encouraging them to do so. So that's all we have in today's newspaper. Hope it has helped you. If you have liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.